Hello, this is Dr. Alberto Rullan, and today I am with Dr. Colton Ramstrom from Performance Equine Veterinary Services. Thank you very much for coming with us.
Thank you for having me.
With more than 15 years of equine sports medicine and rehab experience, the visionary and founder of Performance Equine Vet Services, an equine performance innovative center. Your host, veterinarian Alberto Rullan, is here to keep you informed on all things sports medicine, rehabilitation, and equine business. This is A Stride Above.
What I want to talk today is I want to interview Dr. Colton on the importance of mentorship on your early career. How important it is. You know, today there's a lot of noise in the veterinary career, coming out of vet school with a lot of student debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sometimes we just come out of vet school and we don't know what we're gonna do. And if we do it, we don't know if we're doing it right or if we're doing it wrong. And we really want to have a good mentorship program. Since you have such an extremely good mentorship program and created the great veterinarian that you are, how did that go? Tell us a little bit about that. We wanna address our young interns, externs, and anybody who wants to get into veterinary medicine.
Absolutely. Yeah. So mentorship, both before and after veterinary school, I think are very important. Before veterinary school, obviously, to get a good idea of what the profession is actually like and what, the day-to-day life of an equine veterinarian looks like, to determine whether or not it's the right field for you. And then in addition to that, coming out of veterinary school, you have a great foundation of knowledge, but you don't necessarily know how to apply all that knowledge in practice in the field with your patients when you're the one who's managing each individual case, and it's your decision. You're in charge of what we're doing. So I think that having the opportunity to find somebody who can help you make that transition from the really good kind of foundational education to the actual the clinical practice and being able to make those decisions and make the right decision, and sometimes in difficult circumstances, is extremely important and extremely beneficial to helping young veterinarians become successful and being able to establish their career, work for a long time in the profession, and deal with some of those complications of high student debt burden that Dr. Rullan was talking about here. I was very fortunate in that I was able to find a great mentorship, which actually started before I went to veterinary school. I started working with a sports medicine specialist. He was extremely knowledgeable, and I was able to work with him throughout vet school as well as after vet school and do an internship with him, and then eventually work under him as an associate. And so that through that relationship, I got to use his decades of clinical experience to help really kind of slingshot my education and push me forward to the place where I am now.
So when I was in college, after 4 years of college, every summer I was with a sports medicine veterinarian at the racetrack or anywhere I could find experience. And then during veterinary school as well. Now, our friends remember telling me, hey, why are you doing that? You have a 4-year degree and you are almost working for nothing. Why are you doing that? Can you explain us the economics of it? Like how do you make sense in the long run to do externships, internships, which, let's face it, they are lower paid jobs, even though you have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, sometimes a doctorate degree, in order to create competence that can eventually maybe pay off. Can you tell us your take on that?
Absolutely. No, those are all great points. The short-term economics, you might look at and say, yes, you are making significantly less as an extern or as an intern, which is absolutely true. Long term, though, the education and the experience that you get from that is going to set you apart from your peers so much, make you significantly more competitive, and just make you a better veterinarian in general. The clients are going to see that. Your results with your patients are going to show that. And that in and of itself is just going to compound as a return.
And I can tell you, in your case, it paid off extremely well because you actually have been climbing into the associate ladder quite fast because your competence at what you do is so good, right? So how much effort did you put on learning your craft, on reading those radiographs, on getting the ultrasounds get ready, how on practicing? How was that for you as a student, as an intern?
Yeah, both as a student in undergraduate, as a student and an extern throughout veterinary school, and then I still consider myself a student today. I'm always looking to learn new things, learn from people who have more experience than me, like Dr. Rullan, and it's not something that you start and then you reach an endpoint and you say, okay, we're here, we know what we need to know. It's you're constantly working on that craft and putting the effort in, and it's something that might seem insurmountable at some stages of your education or your career, but you just have passion for it, keep showing up every day, putting the effort in, and it'll work. It'll work if you work.
Very nice. And one last point. Do you think you would be where you are today if you would have not done an internship and a mentorship program before?
No, honest answer would be no. I think the level of clinical experience that you can glean from a good mentor is absolutely invaluable. If I had to just kind of take a guess, I'd say it's me practicing for 3 years would give me the comparable level of experience that I got in my 1 year of internship. So you really do get to push yourself that next step and get a lot out of those educational experiences.
Awesome. And something else that you mentioned that I think is extremely important, you still consider yourself a student. And I see that sometimes veterinarians kind of stop the learning curve, stop developing themselves, and they can get a little bit of in the rut, and also a little bit unhappy because they don't continue with that thirst of knowledge. That's very important, and I like that. If you study most of the successful people in the world, they say they never stop learning, they never stop practicing, never stop fulfilling themselves with knowledge. And what that does is it brings them to then innovation, and then they can start doing new things. And that's a great point. Well, thank you very much for your insight. We really appreciate it. If you are a veterinary student, an intern, or a recent graduate, please consider a mentorship or an internship program to take you to the next level. If you want to hear about ours, you can go and visit our page, which is www.performanceequinevs.com. Email us or text us however you can, and we'll give you all the information you need. Thank you.